This is my Lego X05 Tram. It is built to approximately 1:44 scale and uses a gauge of 1,435 millimeters in that scale, which is approximately 3 studs or 4 depending on how you count it between the tracks. So there is a smaller train track in the middle, well not really middle but like one of the studs on the outside to make the bogies work. Speaking of the bogies, it uses a very similar design to Max Production 16's low floor bogie design for 5 stud wide track. This is the bogie design that I use for all 3 of the segments with bogies and a shorter. The shorter segments, that being the front, middle and end segments, are 10 studs long, including the pillars in the windows made up of 1x4x3 bricks and 1x4x3 panels stacked with a 1x2 plates in trans brown as well as a black 1x4 plate to emulate the border around the windows with stickers later applied to match the effect. The doors are the same design as Max Production 16's C1 and G-Class tram doors with door rail plates to emulate the door rail / rubber gap filler beneath the doors so that when it stops by station it's almost gapless. The roof is fairly okay. I did have fun to redesign it at some stage, but I think it's okay. Speaking about the roof and the details above, those 2 I believe are the big block aircon units as well as that one at the end. Do correct me if I am wrong. And the roof details nicely lead me up to the pantograph. The pantograph is a nice element of the roof. The pantograph is like the stone favely and triangular design seen on the Hitachi train in Melbourne, the D and C1 class pantograph, as well as the X05 and Opus 3 pantograph. And this pantograph is actually my Opus 3 pantograph. Stay tuned for that, which is pretty nice. And of course it works. I was going to use part 42013 that I asked Max Production 16 what the part it is, and I originally designed it with the 2 42013 pieces instead of the snowboard piece on this pantograph. This is the small Lego snowboard because the pantograph contact shoe leads up to an open end rather than the pointed end. This will probably be for my Waratah and Marion trains when I get around to building that, or the Tangara as well. When I order parts, I get that piece as well, since why not? And the pantograph is fairly simple. I used 2, I think 3mm flexos in the 5 length variant I squeeze minifigure hands into the ends of them to make sure they make the triangular shape. But if the camera wants to focus, you can see the ends are slightly wider because it's a legal building technique, and there's hand pieces to replicate the strut in the middle between the two booms. I note, since I couldn't integrate it into the video earlier, the bogies are very similar to Max Production 16, I've already said that, but instead of using cut Technic pins, I've used Technic pins with a round stud on the top, but for the bit where he cuts that piece as well, to make sure it lines up with the tile and doesn't stick out. I use Kmart Anchor's multi beads, and it works quite well. And I use the black variant in colour of it so that it doesn't detract too much of non-Lego. And that's basically the only non-Lego thing I have this in the tram. You can see I've removed one of the segments, that being one of the cab segments, so I can actually show you how the interior is made with the ramp up over the bogies and Max Production's C1 class seats, but recoloured to match what I need. I haven't made the accessible seats here because that was too hard to integrate into the Clip Studio file. And you can see here I've got a plate and a few rounded plates. That is to represent like the mini cow catcher it has at the cab, so it scrapes on the hills like at Circular Quay station, like the tram bit of Circular Quay. And you can see that I also have a toe ball, like an inverse toe ball socket for if you were to get two of them. And I haven't got two of them yet, but if I was to, I've got a special piece, and that is the Orient Express toe ball piece. There's toe balls on two of the sides of a 1x2 plate, so you can take this bit off to help me. You can take this bit off here and attach the toe ball. For this suspended segment, it's like basically mirrored, so I'll only show this segment and nothing else because the pantograph one is the same inside, or the roof is slightly different though. So this one is a suspended segment, and I've added tiles in dark bluish grey on the bottom to make the floor flat, obviously, since it's a low floor tram. And I've used the same sort of window technique here, but instead making it taller like you see on the real tram, and using also the other variant of the panel to make sure I could make it wider without having as much of like some other stuff and like pillars and stuff like that and what you can see. But the transparent plates do detract a little bit, but it's not too bad. And you can see I've got like Among Us rounded plates there, and that is because you can take off the roof. That's the same for the other segments, and as a result you can find the interior, and it's like a one solid box and it doesn't break when you drop it. And you can actually flip down the seats, even though it is a little bulky, to emulate the real tram. I haven't added the handrails on the sides because that I'd be absolutely microscopical, and I don't have the right materials like tweezers and like all the other stuff and wires to make sure it can work. I have tried to light this up as well, but it hasn't worked just yet. This is one of the last things that I'll say in this video, and I'll stop talking for a bit. But the livery looks okay. Like the sides, like where the angled triangle bits don't look that great, but doesn't really matter because I will be making a concertina for this and making a proper video soon by the end of this year hopefully. And the livery is used, I couldn't get adhesive vinyl, but you can see it shining there. That's because I put like some sort of tape over printed sticky back paper to make the effect work. And I think that's mostly what I have to speak about this tram. There are other features to the cab, especially around the front bit, so I might make another video about it in the future with the concertina in as well. And I'm still not finished designing it, so it might be a while until it becomes a physical construction, as well as making a better pantograph design, hopefully, and upgrading the sides of the tram to be more accurate, and also the cab, which the angle should be like this, not like this. Should be like that angle. So stay tuned, and I think that's all I have to talk about. If you enjoyed, please give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on all the other stuff, and stay tuned for more, as well as comment if you have any thoughts about this tram and other stuff, as well as like other more topics that you want me to cover on this tram.